In continuation of our setup of a restaurant, supermarket, or lounge, I want us to focus a bit more on the discussion around setting up the restaurant so that you don't mess up the process. Last time we talked about kitchen designs, designing your menu and how you carry operations people along to ensure that what you're doing is going to work well for their work once the restaurant starts operation. If you're a new restaurant, you then need to rely on expert advice. That's why you must contact experienced project managers and contractors who have not just built just any restaurant, but have track records of building for restaurants or businesses who are successful in the industry. They'll guide you, give you all the guidelines that you need, and bring their weight of experience to bear in ensuring that you get it right. The thing about restaurant business is that if you don't get it right, it will affect your operations. Recently, a client of mine was telling me she marvels how restaurants open up in Lagos, Nigeria, and then in a year or 2 or 3 years, they're closed down. The reason is simple. When you just have a sum of money and you feel, oh, I want to invest in restaurant business. And the next thing that comes to your mind is just to invite any contractor who knows how to build or any architect who knows how to draw to do your design and build for you, then definitely you are on the wrong path. The success of every restaurant business, every hospitality business starts from the design, because how your kitchen relates with your store, your staff changing area, with the restaurant area is what we call operation flow. Even within the kitchen, there is operation flow. There's a way it must work. Once you have a lot of people there, when you're looking at it in plain sight, in drawings, it looks simple, it looks easy, it looks like, oh, you move from point A to point B. But once people are there, and if you're lucky, your restaurant is bubbling, it's very busy, you're getting patronage that you anticipated or even exceeding your expectations, then you can begin to discover some of the problems that were not considered to throw up. This can lead to delayed turnout of orders, it could lead to mistakes, it could lead to conflicts in the kitchen, and at the end of the day, it don't affect your business. The thing about restaurant business or hotel business or hospitality business generally is that once customer has a bad experience, it is very difficult to convince them otherwise. You must plan to minimize mistakes or eliminate them altogether from the beginning. One of the things I can tell you that makes many brands successful in this industry is that they are constantly working hard to eliminate bad customer experience and make sure that customers always have a good taste whenever they come to the restaurant space. After all this, the next thing you need to then do is that once your designs are ready, you've gotten all the flow right, and experts have guided you appropriately, the next thing you really need to do is to ensure that you obtain all the required building approval before you start construction. If it's a renovation, you need to get a renovation permit. If you're going to build from scratch, then you need to get a planning approval. It's very important to get a planning approval from the right authorities before you start construction. While that is going on, you can then obtain quotes from contractors. We've explained before how the process of obtaining quotes from contractors to be able to award the project out. There are 2 simple ways in previous videos that we explain, or 2 options that you can use to ensure that you're not comparing apple for orange, but you're comparing apple for apple or orange for orange. The next thing you do is to mobilize the contractor to move to site. And once the contractor moves to site, they start executing the work, start doing the construction work for you. There must be a timeline. They must be guided. One hack you must learn from this video is that once your construction is approaching completion stage, you do not wait to be fully completed or to launch before you start advertising what is coming up. Once your external area has reached completion stage, you start putting your signages outside. Now in Lagos State, for example, you're not allowed to just display signages except you've paid LASA. You've registered that signage with LASA. LASA is Lagos State Signage and Advertisement Agency. You process your signage approval well ahead of your opening and let people start anticipating that your business is opening up in that space in a couple of days. So what's going to happen is that you see customers, especially when your external is completely finished, maybe you're still working internally and it's external completely finished, customers start coming to approach you or to approach the people inside and say, oh, we want to buy something. Oh, I did not open, I did not ready. That will give you an inkling and a sneak peek into what your patronage is going to look like in that vicinity. Once people start coming before you are ready, it tells you that, oh, this is going to make a lot of sense. And if they're seeing your signages and, seeing a completed building externally, and yet nobody is approaching to say they want to buy something, that also tells you that you need to do lots and lots of marketing. You'll be opening some spaces, you don't need to invest so much in marketing. There are some neighborhoods you want to open a restaurant in, you need to invest in so much marketing. And there are ways that we advise restaurants or supermarkets to do their marketing. Many clients are in the business of going online, paying influencers, open a Facebook, a YouTube account for their restaurant business. Why that is very good for you to market to a couple of people in the environment. It's also good for you to spread the knowledge of your existence so that if you decide to open a branch tomorrow somewhere else, maybe somebody in that neighborhood would have seen your online advert or your online page. Perhaps they come into your neighborhood from wherever they are, any day, anytime. They also come in and patronize you. But here is what it really takes to have an immediate success or to reach those within your catchment area. Let's say 5-kilometer radius from where your restaurant is located. Number one is that you must have broad and visible signage on your property, clearly stating what you do. It's only brands that have been known that can use names that does not really relate to what they're doing. It's certain brands that we know right now in Nigeria, they use names that if you had not known them over time, you would not know that they're restaurants. You can do that. Some brands even put their name on the signage. They don't add a restaurant to it or a lounge. You just say maybe Vincent's Arena. And you start wondering, is it a supermarket? Is it a lounge? Is it a restaurant? You must note that. Another effective way of marketing to your locality, to your neighborhood, is what we call land posts. Land posts, A-frames. A-frames are those signages you see on the roads that show and events used to display adverts, and you see it on both sides. So if you're coming from the north, you see it. If you're coming southward, you see the other side of that same A-frame. Always positioned in between the road medians. These are A-frames. Land posts are the flags that you tie to electric poles and street lights. You can also have banners communicating when you're opening and offers that you have. Then you can also print handbills and you share within 5 kilometers of the neighborhood. And this is something that you can do. As you're sharing handbills, to be sure that the handbills that you're sharing are effective. Sometimes what we experience is that you engage a couple of young people to share handbills for you. And what they just do is that they collect your money and they dump the handbills somewhere. One way to test that your handbills are being shared is that either you have a copy underneath the handbill that is perforated. As they give out the handbills, they take the phone numbers of the person they give the handbills to. Yes, it still works. Or they go from house to house, from office to offices, collecting people's emails and phone numbers. I know you might think that people will not give their phone numbers or emails. They do. All you need to do is ensure that these people are fully branded and kitted in an outfit that describes what they are doing or the organization that they're working for. With this kind of data that you have emails and phone numbers of the people, businesses and households in 5 kilometer radius, your restaurant or your hospitality business. You can then send them emails, send them text messages. When you are having promotional offers, you send it to them. The day you open, you let them know, you test them that you've opened, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the very effective ways to reach people in your neighborhood. Of course, there's also this very popular way of inviting DJs to come play and make a couple of noise around that space, just to call attention to the fact that you're not open in that neighborhood. See you in the next video.